Welcome to Break Free to Brilliance podcast, empowering women in business through thought provoking interviews and insights. Embrace your authentic power, explore the impact of your story, and discover how writing your best selling book can amplify your message, authority, and the 3 I's: impact, influence, and income. Let each episode guide you towards brilliance in minutes. This is your host, Seema Giri. Welcome to another amazing episode of Break Free to Brilliance podcast. This is your friend and host, Seema. It's March, which means we are celebrating Women's History Month, a time to honor the trailblazers who fought for the rights we have today. But let's take a hard look at where we are right now. If you've been paying attention, you know that many of the battles women fought decades ago are resurfacing. Our hard won rights are being questioned. Access to opportunities is still unequal, and in many ways, we're seeing a push to return to how it used to be that limit women's freedom. So here's the question: are we moving forward or are we being pulled back in time? Here's what I know. History is not just about what's in our textbooks. It's happening right now, and we are the ones writing it. The question is, are we letting others write it for us, or are we picking up the pen and taking control? Each episode this month will center around one critical question: how do we, as women, keep moving forward? How do we claim our power, break through barriers, and refuse to let history repeat itself? Today, we're diving into something that has kept women in invisible chains for far too long: unspoken expectations. The ones that tell us to be agreeable, to put everyone else's needs before our own, to stay quiet even when we have something powerful to say. These expectations are woven into our daily lives so seamlessly that we don't always notice them. But today we break the silence. I'd like to ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt like you needed to shrink yourself? Maybe you were the only woman at the table. Maybe you were in a conversation where your voice was drowned out. Maybe you've been told directly or indirectly that you're too much, too loud, too ambitious, or too assertive. I remember a friend of mine, Lisa, who was an expert in her field. She was always the most prepared person in the room. But every time she voiced an idea, she was interrupted or dismissed. One day, her male colleague repeated her exact idea, and suddenly it was brilliant. Has this happened to you? This has happened to me so many times. It's not even funny. Instead of getting angry, Lisa started calling it out in real time. She would say, "That's a great point, and I'm glad you liked my idea." It was really hard for her in the beginning, but she had to take that bold move. And over time, people started noticing and they stopped dismissing her. For you, maybe it may have been something at home. I know for a very long time, I was really invisible to everyone. In high school, there was a time where we did carpooling from the community. There was 4 of us that were going to the high school, so our parents would carpool. One time, it was my friend's father's turn to drive, and we had 2 high schools. There was a 9-10 building for the freshmen and sophomores, and a 11-12 building for the juniors and seniors. And I was in the 9-10 building, and my friends were in the 11-12 building. I was quiet. I wasn't talking as much as the other girls were. And the father forgot to drop me off. And he said, "Oh my gosh, I totally forgot you were here. You were so quiet. And this has continued on in different scenarios in my life. So it's really important. You can be quiet, but your presence should be known. This reminds me of a movie I was watching today called The Iron Lady. It was about Margaret Thatcher's life. She was the longest living Prime Minister of Great Britain. She was always so fascinated about taking charge, about she was interested in politics, and she took the right steps to get to the point that she wanted to. And as she was preparing to run for the election of prime minister, her colleagues or her supporters told her that she would never be taken seriously if she continues speaking the way she speaks, if she's kept carrying herself the way she does. They did a lot of coaching for her to change her voice, to build that trust, to build the authority on how she walked and how she carried herself, how she dressed, how she presented herself. And as she did this over time, people took her really seriously. They felt that she had that authority, and the more she did it and the more response she got from people, the more confident she became. And she was the longest running prime minister. She resigned after 11 and a half years. There were times where she had to really stick to her guns on her belief of what was really great for the country, even though they were going through a very difficult time and they wanted her out. They didn't want her to continue, but she held her ground. She had that unwavering confidence in herself and belief and trust in her abilities to carry out what was best for her country, what was best for her people. And that's exactly how we need to show up. It is possible. We just need to get the right grooming, the right coaching, the right advice. But first, before you even do that, you need to decide on who you want to be, what you want to do, and how you want other people to perceive you. And believe me, slowly over time, people will start taking you more seriously. They will start noticing you more. You'll become more visible, but you have to be ready for that. I was in a workshop, it was a book writing workshop, and I had a question. I raised my hand. But internally, I was also feeling that I hope he doesn't see me. I hope he doesn't call on me, even though I had my hand raised. So, because I wasn't 100% comfortable being visible, even though I was making efforts and trying to be, I did not get called on. I was passed over and looked over. So it's all about energetic. What kind of energy are you putting out into the universe? So if you are trying to take action on becoming more visible, on taking those bold actions and it's not working, see how you are feeling inside, internally. What is that energy that you're putting out? And the minute you change that, I guarantee you, people will start noticing you. That is exactly what happened with me. So I want you to think for a moment, where in your life are you being made to feel small? Where are you holding back because of an unspoken rule? And what would happen if you challenged it? Breaking these chains isn't just about speaking up, it's about recognizing the expectations placed on you and deciding which ones you refuse to follow. Maybe for you, it's rejecting the guilt of being a working mom. Maybe it's negotiating for the salary you deserve, or the consulting fee, or the fee for your service that you want to have. Maybe it's setting boundaries with people who expect you to always be available. What I know for sure is that the moment you stop living by other people's expectations, you start living for yourself. And when one woman does that, she gives permission for others to do the same. And let's talk about something even bigger, our rights. Right now, decisions are being made about what we can and cannot do with our own bodies. Laws are being proposed that could strip away our voting rights, forcing us into decisions that we don't agree with. And if that wasn't enough, the new voting laws are being introduced that would require your name to match your birth certificate in order to vote. Imagine how many women, those who have changed their last names through marriage or divorce, or those who have had to change their identity for safety, could be impacted by this. This is why our voice matters. This is why we cannot afford to stay silent. When our rights are at stake, when the laws are being written in a way that could push us backward, we have to step up. So, what can you do today? Here are three things that you can do. Number one, identify the expectations that's holding you back, write it down, say it out loud, and acknowledge it. That is the first step. Number two, challenge it. The next time you feel pressure to be quiet, to be agreeable, to sacrifice your needs, pause and ask yourself, do I actually believe this or was I taught to believe it? And number three, take one action. Speak up in a meeting, say no to something you don't want to do, and make a choice that puts you first. And I have to tell you, these are some subtle things, small things that we don't even notice. We just pass over as normal. Great Maya Angelou once said, each time a woman stands up for herself, without knowing it possibly, without claiming it, she stands up for all women. This is how we move forward, one bold action at a time. And these can be small actions because it all starts with you. When you make that change, people around you, in your immediate family is going to make a difference. Then your relatives, and then your community, and it has a ripple effect moving outwards. And you never know who's watching and what a difference you will make in someone's life. So please take that one bold action at a time. Do it for yourself and do it for that other woman. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share this with a friend, start a conversation, and let's keep pushing forward together. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the rest of our Women's History Month series. Until next time, keep breaking free and stepping into your brilliance. This is Seema, and I hope you had some key takeaways that you can implement right away. Be sure to subscribe to Break Free to Brilliance wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow along with us on social media using the links in the show notes below. We'll see you again for the next episode.